the
Yep.
game was the biggest of the week, obviously, just in terms of storylines and how it all played out. Michigan and Ohio State, you thought going in, okay, Ohio State number 2 in the country, playing some pretty good ball. And sure enough, here comes the Michigan Wolverines, and what was the win to basically solidify their season as somewhat of a
Oh
success.
yeah.
They get to
Oh yeah.
7-5, but they do it in dramatic fashion in Columbus, 13-10.
Yeah, and I guess this is why we love college football, right? Because it just can be so unpredictable. If there was ever a lock, coming into this weekend or this past weekend, I would have thought this was the lock game of
Yeah.
all, and that's taking nothing away from Michigan, but Ohio State had been playing really well. They're playing at home. They had lost 3 in a row to Michigan. They're clearly the better team on paper. The roster is stronger, deeper. And they just got outplayed. They did not play well. Will Howard had been playing great, did not play well in this game, had 2 costly interceptions. I mean, Michigan threw 2 interceptions as well, so it wasn't like they were lighting the house on fire either, but they were better in the trenches. Kalel Mullings had over 100 yards rushing in the game, 116, and scored a touchdown. And the defense held Ohio State to 77 yards rushing. In this game, more than any other game, whoever wins the rushing battle typically wins this game. I think that's now 23 times in a row. Whoever wins the rushing battle in this game wins the game. And look, we knew all season that Michigan had talent, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. They have quarterback issues. Their offensive line was not what it's been. Their wide receiver group was just okay, but we knew they had defensive players, particularly in their front 7. And at times they looked great. At other times they didn't look great this year. But boy, they looked great. They showed up and played Saturday. Those 2 guys, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant on the inside, dominated the line of scrimmage. And they just, Ohio State just could not establish any run game, and they couldn't control the line of scrimmage. And as improbable as it was, Michigan comes away with the win. And the other thing that we didn't even mention, that Zavada, the kicker from Michigan, has been outstanding all year. He's 2 for 2, including the game winner with 45 seconds left. And Ohio State missed 2 easy chip shot field goals. So everything that could have gone wrong for Ohio State in this game did go wrong.
Let's not forget, no Colston Loveland and no Will Johnson for Michigan.
Right.
I mean, 2 of their best players, certainly their best offensive player. I mean, Colston Loveland is going to be an elite tight end for a long time in the NFL. And Will Johnson is someone who's going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft at cornerback. I mean, those are 2 high-impact players, did not play in this game. There were the ugly scenes after the game with the fight between the teams, and we saw that across college football really on Saturday. It just felt like every rivalry game, it was that rivalry week came to fruition in some ugly ways. But on top of all of that, you look at where this leaves Ohio State, they're still likely going to make the college football playoff. And so it's this weird dichotomy of, okay, there's no recovering in some senses from this because this is the biggest game on the calendar in Columbus. And we've talked about what this means to the fan base, to the alumni base, to the players on the team, the seniors that all came back for this exact moment and will never get their gold pants. But at the same time, they're still going to have an opportunity to play for a national championship. And so the season's not completely lost, but they have to find it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's not. And probably it's a good thing, honestly, that they don't have to turn around and play next week, because they're not in the Big Ten championship game. So they have some time to put some distance between this game and the taste of this game away from them, and get it out of their mouth a little bit before they do play again. Chances are they not only lost a chance to play for the Big Ten championship, they lost a chance potentially to host a playoff game. They're probably going to be on the road somewhere as the visiting team. And it almost feels like anything short of winning it all this season is going to feel like a big failure to a lot of people, not just the fans of Ohio State, but the players, the coaches, because, everything was kind of in place for them to have an incredible season. They spent a lot of money on their roster. It was a good roster, and they came up short twice now.